So yesterday, something pretty unlikely happened, and that's the Lions losing to the Chicago Bears. And so now if we look at the NFC North, the Packers don't look that far behind. It sort of seemed like a few weeks ago the odds of the Packers somehow winning the NFC North were low, and I would say they're still low, but they're much higher than they were with the fact that the Chicago Bears beat the Detroit Lions 28-13 yesterday. So now if we look here at the NFC North standings, we have the Lions at the top at 9-4. We have the Vikings below them at 7-6 after winning yesterday 3-0. We have the Packers at 6-6. So if the Packers can win tonight's game against the Giants and sit at 7-6, that would mean both the Packers and Vikings are only 2 games behind the Detroit Lions. In my opinion, the way the Vikings have played, the way that, their quarterback situation, it's pretty bleak right now. I think at first in Minnesota, having Dobbs in there seemed like maybe he could allow this team to be somewhat competitive, but I just don't think the Vikings to end out the season are going to be here, have the same record as the Packers. I think the Packers are going to push ahead of them. And so if we just look at the Lions and Packers, their remaining games, if the Packers can win the rest of their games, finish at 11-6, they would need the Lions to lose 2 games, one of which would need to be against the Vikings, which is a divisional opponent because of the tiebreaker scenario. But if the Lions lose, I'll show you their schedule right here. They have 4 remaining games. Here we have the Broncos next week, then the Vikings, then the Cowboys. I would guess they lose to the Cowboys. The Broncos have been a sneaky team this year. You never know. The Lions have not played well. And then we would need the Lions to lose at least once to the Vikings. When they play each other twice, I would say that's a possibility. So if the Packers went out, that means we'd be 11-6. The Lions would be 11-6 if they lose 2 games. The first tiebreaker is head-to-head record, which is tied because we each beat each other once. It then moves to divisional record. Right now, the Lions and Packers are both 2-2 in the division. If the Packers went out, obviously, and the Lions lose to the Vikings once, it would give the Packers a leg up when it comes to divisional games. And so that means that there's a non-zero chance the Packers could actually win the NFC North. There's still a lot of things that have to go well. The Packers need to keep playing as they have against the Chiefs and Lions, which I see no reason why they can't. The Packers' remaining schedule isn't that tough. And so in a couple of weeks, we could be sitting here with there actually being, maybe a few games away from the Packers winning the NFC North, which I think if you think about that, the fact that it's Jordan Love's first season, the fact that this Packers team was sitting at 2-5, the Packers have completely turned around their season, and so it's just exciting to see that, we're still alive, still in the playoff hunt, very good chance of making the playoffs, in my opinion, and now even a chance to win the NFC North. If the Lions hadn't lost the Bears yesterday, the odds would have been so slim. You would have needed the Lions to lose maybe 3 of their remaining 4 games, which I just don't see that happening. 2, I think it's a possibility. So we'll keep an eye on this, obviously, as the rest of the season progresses to see where the Packers rank in playoff seeding, NFC North, all that kind of stuff. And if the Packers were to be ahead of the Lions, then that would mean we'd be one of the top 4 seeds with a home game potentially. So let's hope it happens. We'll see what happens going forward, how this progresses for both teams. But that is all for this video. If you want more Packers content, feel free to subscribe down below. I will be out with a reaction video tonight breaking down tonight's Packers-Giants game. So if you want to see that, make sure your post notifications are turned on, and I'll see you guys next time.